I am Marcus Blake here at the 2023 Dallas International Film Festival. We are talking to Lawrence Sher, Oscar-nominated cinematographer. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So,
it's great to be here.
You know, we don't talk about cinematography in film enough. Do you feel like that cinematography can save a movie from being bad?
No. That would be that would make us like a lot more important than we are. I think cinematography can mask a bad movie.
Right.
I think cinematography can hide some of the flaws.
Right.
And certainly there are movies that can be, visually really interesting and have flaws
Sure.
in many other ways. But no, I think the most important thing is that the movie works.
Right.
And if a movie works, it makes the cinematography look even better.
Well, but I want to, talk about that a little bit. I mean, we're nerds, so, obviously the Joker is in our wheelhouse when it comes to movies. And you kind of very much captured a very dark tone, making New York look like Gotham, that seedy and everything. I mean, what's the process, for that?
I think, first it starts with the script, right?
Sure.
And Todd Phillips wrote an amazing script with Scott Silver. And, when you read it, you instantly start to sort of envision the setting and what you can do to sort of bring that out, right? So for me, there was some references to it being 1980s Gotham, which for me, growing up in New Jersey in the 70s and 80s, that felt like something I had a very clear sense of what it meant to me. So some of it's like I go through references, sometimes I just go through my imagination and try to create something. In that regard, it's like it's a DC movie, but it's not a DC movie.
Right.
So it's really just like an old 70s character study movie. And so for that, you think of like the movies that I grew up on and loved,
Sure.
Whether it's Taxi Driver or something like that.
Well,
and feel like I'm not going to reference Taxi Driver specifically, but I wanted to feel like what that movie made me feel like when I watched it for the first time.
Well, and it very much did.
Yeah.
But speaking of New Jersey, you cut your teeth on the Garden State,
Yes,
Zach Braff film. So was that a lot easier to do because you knew New Jersey?
Yeah, it really was, actually. I feel like it's one of the reasons I got the job, because it felt like home. Like what Zach wrote about, which was like, maybe 20 minutes down the road from me.
Right.
And his experience growing up in New Jersey just felt very familiar. So when I had to envision like a house or a basement party or, visiting the sort of neighborhoods that we did in the movie, that familiarity, I think, really did bring some intimacy and I had some relationship to the movie even before I started shooting it.
Well, I want to talk about Shot Deck, your company. You're just, a platform for filmmakers to grab great shots for their films.
That's right.
How did that come about?
You know what? It came out of necessity. Like out of and by the way, Garden State was one of the first movies in which, in order to try to get the movie, pitch myself for the movie, I presented a deck with examples of my vision, and invariably in those examples were movies that we could use as a common reference point. And so over years of doing that, I thought, I wish all of these images that I'm pulling from movies could be like searchable in 50 different categories, and that we could use this for other filmmakers and let them have a tool that could be this valuable for them. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Since it didn't exist, it's like, all right, let's build it.
Now, are you doing the sequel to the Joker?
Yeah, we just finished 2 weeks ago.
Okay, is there anything that you can tell us about how it's going to look? Or is DC put the muzzle on you?
I mean, it'll have some continuity, and it'll also have some differences.
Okay.
Right? I know that's very amorphous, but it's like, and it's got some music in it. Lady Gaga's in it.
I know. I'm very intrigued about her take on Harley Quinn.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Okay, so we come to the final question that we ask all of our filmmakers. We've nerded out on cinematography, but here's our nerdy question.
Yeah.
If you personally could have a superpower to fight the forces of evil, what would you choose?
Invisibility. I always thought, and I don't know, I guess it says something about your psyche, whatever answer you give. But yeah, the idea that just walk around, nobody knows you're there.
I feel like that's
maybe it's a little creepy, but but that I think was always the answer that I think.
That's a very cinematographer answer, because that's when you know you're going to get the shots at the right moment.
You know what? By the way, that's exactly right, because as a cinematographer, you're inherently a voyeur.
Yeah.
Right. You're inherently you're hiding behind a camera.
Right.
And just basically watching people do something. So yeah, I guess it makes sense.
We knew where you were going with that.
There you go. right.
Well, thank you very much. We can't wait to see the sequel to The Joker. And thank you for doing a company for filmmakers to be able to get great shots.
Thank you for having me, and I'm excited for you to see Joker.
All right, we can't wait.